Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host. I'm welcoming you, episode 94. We are getting close to 100 episodes day by day. So we are very excited and motivated to reach our goal. Our goal is to pass 100 episodes within this year. Let's invite our guests and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Neil. Welcome to the podcast.
Kevin, thanks for having me. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. How is your week going so far?
So far, so good, my brother. What do they say? Can't complain. Nobody listen. Nobody care.
Well, so today is Wednesday. We are in the middle of the week, and we are having our 94th episode. So we are getting close to our 100th episode.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I also announced.
Screw it up on you.
Well, so this is gonna be also a great one of our great episodes. I have no doubt about it. Also, since we are chatting together, also for our audience to know, we have an online networking event coming up. It is scheduled for November 21st, 10 a.m. It's an online networking event, and for our audience, anyone who'd like to join, we have a limited seating. Please scan this QR code and join us. You'll be able to network with many different professionals online, and at the same time, you'll be streamed live on the American Business Podcast. Neil, what we are trying to do is we like to share educational content on the American Business Podcast. With this online networking event, we like to also help our audience connect with each other and create this connective professional network area, environment, an ecosystem. That's actually where we are trying to go with the American Business Podcast.
Love it. Nice community.
Yes. And believe it or not, we started earlier this year. So it's actually a very young community, but it's growing very fast as a business community. But when we look at it overall, we come a long way. So that's really exciting.
Oh, good for you. That's great.
Well, let's get started if that's okay.
Ready to roll, brother.
All right. Would you please? Sounds great. I love the energy. Would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
So I am Neil Rogers. I live in the Northeast up here in the Boston area. If you probably detect a little accent here and there. That's even though I've been 35 miles out of Boston, it still rears its ugly head now and again. I have I've been a rep of sorts for almost 40 years. First in the food business, in and out of every kitchen in Boston. Then I was in the athletic footwear and apparel business, in and out of every shoe store, bookstore, sporting goods store in New England. And for the last 30 years, we've had ourselves a little swag business. So direct corporate merchandise to many large companies. And we help them not only source the goods, but we also work on helping them use the products to get their desired results, get attention, get an appointment, get somebody to come by the trade show booth. All the while, we've also built out a program called Positive Activity, which is something that my wife and I put together. We are partners in life and in business. And we put that together based on it's kind of the sum total of our lives together. We live a very positive lifestyle. We make sure that every day, our day starts off in a positive way because research will show you sell 37% more of that fashion. So there you go.
Yes. We should talk more about this practice. You are also an author. Can you tell us about your book? Tell us about your book.
Well, it just so happens, Kevin, I happen to have one of those babies right here.
Look at that.
Conveniently located.
Bar tips.
That is bar tips. That's everybody thinks it's about the stories of the bar. Well, there are stories of the bar in there. They're all G-rated, I promise you. But it's really more about the life lessons that I learned in the hospitality business. It really is an incredible training ground for not only business, but life. A lot of the things that I learned there, I put into practice in helping our special needs child in anything that we do in business. I try to work on my personal interactions in that fashion to make sure I'm staying friends with everybody. And so, but it's all about things that it's the little things. It's not about the grand, designing or developing the next new software or a website or whatnot. No, it's interpersonal skills. It's the importance of a proper greeting, right? So that is in the adage that we could put with that is you never get a second shot in the first impression. We've all heard that one before. None of this stuff we talk about or I talk about in any fashion is splitting the atom. It's all about reminders of the little things that help us all get better. Being organized. The most organized wins. You show up disheveled at a sales call or at a party or wherever you want to go. This doesn't work out. How time management is so important, how you schedule yourself so that you're not running out the door at the 11th hour and missing an appointment. Like I did yesterday. Nobody bats 1,000, gang. So it also about time management. Also, you don't want to be that person that's late all the time, whether it's personal or professional, because then you get time named after you. Well, they're going to be late. They're always a half hour late. That's Smith time. Well, it's also disrespectful to the people that you're going to meet, both in business and and personally. So try to be on time, right? Appearance, aptitude, attitude. How do you look? What's your attitude? In your aptitude, are you upgrading your skills? So these are all things that, product knowledge. Do you know the wines? Do you know your products? Do you know peripheral knowledge? Do you know anything outside of your business that can help your clients that you don't directly benefit from? That's hospitality, right? Humility. We talk humility. Taking ownership when a business problem arises. Also works in your personal life. Hey, that one's on me. I could have done better. Same thing in business. That your shipment doesn't arrive on time. Do you lash out at the truck driver or the person that picked the order, or do you say, "Hold on a second here. How could I have done better in this?" And then solve the problem without the customer ever knowing, if possible. Everybody looks good in the end. So those are the types of things, and there's little stories in the book that go along with each of those. That kind of goes, and I take a real life example, a contemporary example, and one that I experienced in the hospitality business. And they really hit people. There's so many people that, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be the restaurant or hotel business. If you worked retail, you know what it's like when somebody's irate about something. Their stuff doesn't fit, or the credit didn't go through, or whatever it may be, or where's all the help? Why can't I get somebody to help me in the aisle? You got to solve those problems. You don't pick that up if you don't go to work. Don't go to a Marshalls or an Applebee's or wherever, a Hyatt. You learn so much, the interaction with people. And it's often said you learn a lot about the person too on the other side. Many people would say, I judge people on how they treat waiters, how they treat the people on staff. So you learn a lot about people. So much to be learned doing that business. So that's why I put that guy together. And also it was therapeutic because I wrote it during COVID. So something to
I
do,
like it.
something to do to keep myself from losing my mind.
So can it be? Is it on sale on Amazon or any other
Sure is.
platform? You say okay.
It's a little funky. Amazon's search criteria is difficult at this time. So the best place to go would be go to my website for that, which would be positiveactivity.net. You'll also get to see my ugly mug again, my beautiful wife, and maybe get a little bit more to know about what we do. The blog posts I believe are pretty creative, and all of those are that type of information. Simple. I'll give you one real quick.
Sure.
No beer plans. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay. I don't make beer plans. That means I never make plans at 11 o'clock at night after 4 beers that I don't follow through on.
Makes sense.
We've got to get together. So in business, it's very, very same thing. If you say you're going to do something, do it.
Do it. That's true. Don't just say it, do it.
Yeah, don't just be a doer. Don't, and and again, I toss around grace all the time. Something goes wrong, you forgot. It's just get right back on the horse and do better next time. And make sure that you take ownership and move on. So that's the beer, and there's a whole story around that. And actually, it gets down to it was a sales meeting I was at, because we have a lot of business people out there, right? Sales meeting I was at. So, and we've been very successful in our business and our little company that we're associated with. Young guy comes up to me at the sales meeting, and they want to talk to the people that have been around and been successful and all that, right? So the last meeting, kid's name was Taylor, and last meeting, the banquet and all that was at the Harley Davidson Museum. So you were to wear something bikerish. I ain't got anything, so I got a black T-shirt on, right? But that was my plans. But as I'm leaving the trade show, because they had a trade show at the end of our meeting, there was a guy. He had a dye sublimated jacket. Now, dye sublimation is where they take the logos and they dye it right into the material. You can't scrape it off. It'll never go away. I said, "What are you going to do with that jacket? It's got biker logos all over." He goes, "I don't know. Throw it out, sell it." So, "How much you want for it?" He goes, $35. I said, "I'll buy it." He said, "All right, just give me your card, do a deal with me." Fine, I'll do that too. So anyways, move along, grab it. I get ready. I go to get on. I think we had to get on a bus or something to get to this thing. And this kid, Taylor, comes up to me. He goes, "Neil, that jacket's unbelievable." I said, "Taylor, I will never wear this again. Can I have it?" I said, "You sure can." Okay. Night goes on. His night probably lasted a lot longer than mine. I was probably in bed at 10, and he was probably in bed at 2. And I'm at the final breakfast the next day, and it's a sparse crowd because it's the end. Everybody's jumping on flights and leaving and going home. I have the jacket with me. I'm at a table over here. He's sitting over by himself. I walked over and said, "Hey, Taylor." "Neil, how you doing?" "Oh, good. Taylor, great meeting, huh? Fantastic. Speakers, a lot of content, a lot of good network." He goes, Yeah, it was really great. "I'm going to give you the best tip you've had all week." I threw the jacket on the table. I pointed to him and said, "Always do what you say you're going to do." And I walked away. Now, hopefully, that landed on him. I think it did. Because somebody told me that, 40 some odd years ago. It's never left me. The taking ownership thing has never left me. That was a guy that told me that when I was in the food business. The guy before was when I started in the athletic footwear and apparel business. All these little gems that they're timeless.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one of the blog posts, folks. So check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all around service, and Lori does a whole bunch of stuff on mindful behaviors and all that. So I think it's done pretty well, but then again, it's mine. So
And actually, this week we had a guest, Taylor Scott, and he has a concept called lead with hospitality. And we talk about hospitality industry and the leadership styles and other industry related conversations that we had. And but I never thought bar business as a hospitality. That's a great learning for me in that sense, because it really is, because you are dealing with people, you're helping them, you're serving them. It's actually part of hospitality. That's true. That's true. Amazing. Yeah, that's really good. Well, Neil, you have decades of professional experience. Can you tell us about your day-to-day work? You work with different businesses, different professionals. What are the exciting and challenging parts of your work on daily basis?
Well, I think today, the biggest challenge that I think that we have today, we don't, we just try to overcome and figure it out, is getting people. Well, first of all, getting to meet with them. That's a primary challenge.
Mhm.
I think still best in the end, if you can have a one-on-one conversation in person with body language, with samples or whatever else you're trying to sell, documents you can look at together without sharing it on the screen, I think is the number one thing. So that's a challenge. Second is getting him on a Zoom. So it's like getting, it's the age-old deal. how do you get everybody? How do you get somebody to answer you to get and to get on, just so you can have that 15-minute get to know you conversation, right?
That's true.
So that's an ongoing that's nothing new there. It's just you got to shift. And whereas I used to be convinced you needed 7 significant touches, I think it might have gone up. I'm not sure yet, but it's been interesting in terms of with the whole algorithm has changed, I think. So we do that every day, though. We teach people how to do it, and we do it. We are, forever, we're big. Obviously, we're in the promotional marketing business, so you're always getting a piece of lumpy mail from me, which is dimensional. You know what the open rate on a piece of lumpy mail is? You know what I mean by a piece of lumpy mail?
You mean the direct mail?
Yeah, it's got dimension to it. Right?
Dimensions. Okay.
It's not a flat envelope. It's got some dimension to it. The open rate on that,
100%. Less than 1%. Less than 1%. 100%.
100%.
100%.
Well, let me ask you a question. If I sent you a box, would you open it?
I will open it. It's a box. It needs to be opened.
Something that looked like
absolutely. Wow.
Just another windowed envelope with your name on it, and it's like, what is
less
this?
Than that? Less than 1%.
That's less than 1%. Might be some curiosity factor there. So that's the type of stuff we're big on. And
that's actually a pretty good tip, actually. Like having that dimensional envelope, and it's actually open 100%. It's amazing. It makes sense to me, but I didn't know that statistic. That's great to know. Absolutely.
Well, how many new emails? How many I actually was just on the phone with a guy yesterday. Good guy, really enjoyed him. Another podcast. His big thing was good content and good emails. I'm like thinking, boy, there is nothing that in emails that jumps out at me that makes me open something from somebody I don't know. I mean, I nothing.
It's tough. It's tough.
And with the software now, it's segmenting everything off. Right?
It filters for you. Sometimes correct.
So.
Sometimes it over filters. Sometimes you lose the emails that you are expecting to receive. It goes to spam box. That the spam filters are that good, or
But but that's the type of stuff we try to impart in folks to really. Now this costs money, so there's some work that needs to be done prior to that, because before you send out a $30 box, because the box is going to cost X. And it's going to cost you Y to ship it, right? Because that's another big thing. You got to be careful with that. Correct. But that's why you really need to have moved them along in terms of your qualification. It's just someone that really is interested in talking to me. Can they really buy what we sell? More importantly,
the targeting,
the budget authority, all those things. As much of the information you can get before you send a $50 box is a pretty good idea. And then be sure that you're following up in a timely manner. That's when you can throw a phone call at them. You can throw an email, and you can say, "Did you get my box?" in the subject line. So now we're heading towards a pretty decent chance of getting some response. But I found that people can ghost you on that too, occasionally. And I go, how do you? I don't understand. Especially it's interesting, yeah. So
when I studied these in school, they taught us direct and interactive marketing. So when I studied in year 2000, 2001, like 20 years ago, those were the years of direct mail. Like still, they were mailing, and they taught us how to put together a direct mail and how to stuff it, how to do targeting. So the one thing that we learned back in the time was a success of a direct mail campaign is 40% audience, the targeting, 40% offer, and the rest is graphics and design and the rest of it. That's what we learned back in the time. And the reason I said 1% is the direct mail campaigns. Back in the time, if you can reach and pass 1%, it's a success. And then you try to get as close as to 1%. That I'm talking about the statistics like 20 years ago. So, but then to your point, it is costly. You need to. It's actually production. When you think about the direct mail, it's a production, right? You need to design it, put it together, print it, check it. If there is a mistake, it needs to be corrected, and then the shipping, mailing, and then sending it out with USPS or other means. It's quite an operation. So now, to your point, it becomes more. Times change. So now we see a lot of email campaigns because it costs less.
Yeah, but
Direct
it's
mail became a little bit exclusive, a little bit different than
well,
before.
I just
What do
don't.
you think?
Like I said to you earlier, I don't know who's opening up emails from people they don't know.
Mhm,
If somebody, I will find that occasionally I'll see one on LinkedIn where they, that seems to grab my attention, and I'll give them 15 minutes because I think it's like professional courtesy. If you're
mhm,
looking to do something different, if you're showing me something
mhm,
that is, I hate to use the hackneyed phrase out of the box, but
mhm,
out of the box, well, then I think you're worth 15 minutes of my time. And I mainly because I might learn something from you as well. But I mean, if you do have something that I can buy,
mhm,
I would rather work with somebody that's being creative
mhm,
and tenacious is what we call it, as opposed to being persistent. Persistent sounds like a pest for a reason. Like you're doing something different. You've actually thought about my business. But the stuff today that you get on most of these, um, uh, most of the correspondence is, I mean, it's all AI driven. So much of it is AI
and
driven.
you can tell, right? It's AI driven. The content, sometimes they don't even change the content, they just put it as it was suggested by the AI. So
Right.
so that is also very interesting that sometimes there is even no authenticity in a way.
Yeah, but it's I'm not saying it isn't an integral part of what you do, but this notion where you send out 400 emails and you've done your marketing just isn't. It all depends on what you're selling too. I've
Mhm,
never, I'm not selling consumer goods. I'm not trying to hit them 400 times in order to get them to buy a pair of shoes.
mhm,
I'm trying to get an appointment so I can have a conversation, so we can have that 15-minute call that I can even determine. I think I've determined that I can help them prior to
mhm,
it, but after
mhm,
I talk to them, maybe they're not the budget authority. Maybe they're not the right person. So the question
mhm,
is then, who in your company would be the right person to send my next box through? And oh, by the way, could you introduce us via email? Would you be willing to do that?
mhm,
And so and refer and put a referral in. But even as a referral, you can't or a casual meeting. If you met somebody at a charity event or a cocktail party or wherever, at the beach, and well, boy, that's interesting what you do. I'd be interested in that. Here, here's
mhm,
my card. Don't think they're
mhm,
waiting by the phone for you to call. They're not. They're beer planning you in a lot of cases, right? We talked about beer plans. It's like, sure. Well,
yes.
yeah, just send me some. I'll get back to you and then see how it goes. So yeah, so it's not always. So you should. We always say whether it's a person, a group you don't know, a group you meet, or a group you
Mhm,
know, you got to treat them all the same. You may not have to go through the full 7 touches, significant touches, in order to get their attention, but you should at least put them in queue, if
mhm.
that makes sense.
So this morning I was making a presentation with one of my colleagues. We talk about sales strategies and CRM software systems. So my business is business software. So CRM, customer relationship management, and marketing
Mhm.
is a part of it. So and my colleague Ryan from Sandler, and they have certain methodology for sales. And to your point, just to support your point, the first thing he said was, before start using anything, before doing anything, just know who you are selling, who you are trying to reach, who is your target. Just to your point, to understanding the target market, who they are, who do you are trying to reach out to, their profile, right? That's the start. And then from there on, you start to build the interactions and the marketing communications. That's actually where it is going from, what you are saying. So it's very important.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be flying blind or spraying and praying, as they say, with $30 box.
$30, no. That's true. Good point. That's a good point.
Gets awful expensive.
That's for sure.
Gotta soften up the beachhead a little bit, Kevin.
That's true.
So
That's true. Well, can you tell us more about the positive lifestyle, positive activity a little bit more, if that's okay?
sure. So we do certain practices every day that gets you in a positive mindset. Those you can all find here in the Happiness Advantage. You can also go to our website and download the playbook from Lori, and a lot of those things are in there. It's all free. And so, but here's my daily journal. I know there's a lot of talk about these things these days. It's about here. I've got 3 things that I'm grateful for in the last 24 hours. Then I take one thing and I make an intentional recall. So I actually live it again. Right. So I think about it. So I was just talking about the Teddy Roosevelt book I was talking about when I was mentioning Man in the Arena.
Yes, Man in Arena. Yes.
So while trying to get comfortable, I started reading the Teddy Roosevelt book by Brett Baer. I think I'm really going to like it, because I sat and I started and I was like, oh wow, this is good. And it kind of ate me up for a little bit. Got a little tired, so I had to put it up for a bit. I plan on when I'm going to meditate. I plan on what I'm going to do to move, some sort of body movement throughout the day, whether it's a walk, Pilates class, yoga, biking, whatever, weight training. I think about some sort of conscious act of kindness I want to do. That can be letting somebody in traffic, letting somebody go ahead of you in line. If they look like it, buy them their coffee if they need it, if you think they need it. And then I write I am statements. So I talk about, because I want to make sure this book I really want to get going on. And I wrote, I am 20 pages a day. They say 20 pages a day, you can read 30 books a year. So I'm shooting for that. I'm a persuasive speaker. I'm a mentor. I'm a writer. I'm currently writing 2 more books in concert, in parallel. I sing, so I want to be a singer in a big band. Already auditioned. I don't know if I got it.
Oh, wow. Impressive.
Then I always say to myself, I am positive, I'm creative, and I am productive. And then I am enough, I have enough. And then I take and I write the 4 agreements. Are you familiar with the 4 agreements?
No.
Okay. 4 agreements. Be a nice little thing. Even do a ChatGPT workup on it or something like that. They're basically, I will be impeccable with my word, meaning I won't take things. I won't be disparaging of myself or of others. I won't make assumptions, because how many times we've all made assumptions and gone down a bad road only to be wrong. I won't take things personally, because you never know what the other person is going through, or the other entity, or whatever it is. And I will always do my best. So I write those in every day. So that's how I start my day. And then I will meditate. I won't move right then, probably later on in the day. I do other things like vagus nerve massages, things like that. And then I open up my inbox. So before all that stuff happens, all that takes, even if you threw in a 5-minute meditation, it'd take you 10 minutes. Because once you get in the practice of it, it's easy to recall those. And by the way, the gratitude stuff doesn't have to be something, earth shattering. It's a nice day.
Yeah.
I have a cup of coffee in front of myself, And then I also have in here, on the back here, I have sage advice from Jimmy Buffett. Do you remember Jimmy Buffett?
Yes.
Okay. Just a couple of quick ones. Live beneath your means, return everything you borrow. Stop blaming other people. Admit it when you make a mistake. We've talked about this stuff already, right? So these are all reminders for me, even though I wrote about it, even though I'm talking to you about it. I don't bat 1,000. So I'm forever reminding myself, these are the things that you should be doing. And I did say should. I don't usually do shoulds, but I'm saying it to myself. I should be doing these things. I should be thinking about these things. So that's kind of where that's where it, well, again, it goes on to when we, we're in a yoga class or something of that nature. But that is so with that, Sean Acord did 12 years of research at Harvard. And they determined through his research that by doing simpler practices like this, because you can control most of your own happiness. It's not the car you drive. It's not the house you live in. That is not going to make you happy, according to Sean and his research that Neil's parroting, right? And with that, as salespeople, small business people, whatever it is, you have a positive attitude, you're going to sell 37% more. Is that worth 10 minutes in the morning? I think so. You're going to be 31% more productive. And I don't know, obviously get really detailed on the, there'll be less burnout. You'll be happier. All these simple things that, that go with that. So that's kind of that's how we attack everything. It's like, even when, we've got all sorts of challenges that come now and again with my son. And then we just kind of work our way through them, put a process together and make it happen.
Actually, yeah, that's actually one of my questions that I ask in times of challenges and hardships, how to stay motivated and inspired to keep on going.
Well, I'll tell you exactly, because yesterday did not finish up stellar. Nothing like earth-shattering happened or whatnot, but I just wasn't feeling right last night. That's when I sat down. I read. I did meditation in bed. Had a really good night's sleep, which at this stage of my life doesn't always happen. And then this morning I came up here and I had a couple of projects around here, organization of the books. So the 2 books that I'm writing, well, I got them in chapters, paper clipped on my desk. I said, I needed 3-hole punch these. So I put on Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, on YouTube. And I knocked those 2 babies off and just felt so great afterwards. Now this is 6 o'clock in the morning. So nobody wants to hear from you. You're not going to do any business. So how are you going to set yourself up for a day? And I did. And then, with my, the book about one of the books is called Navigating the Special Needs World with Positive Activity. So it's about our lives with our son. And that, my friend, is a tearjerker. So I'm like, I'm reading some of this stuff. Said, okay, let me just put it away because, but it was kind of cathartic too, to just go through the process and have that emotion come out that early. So I was really, so then I've had so this day has gone swimmingly. And now I've had a nice conversation with you, Kevin, and
appreciate it.
I'm going to play music and sing this afternoon. And, it's going to be a great day. It is a great day.
It is a great day. Yes.
You can turn it around. It's like,
thinking positive, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's certainly, yeah. I mean, because nothing was devastating. It's like, it was just don't feel right. What can I do to get out of this funk? And that's what I did.
Have you had any role models, any mentors in your career journey?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mentioned, so these guys I worked with, they were friends of mine. And then friends, we were, and then they asked me to work for them. And I learned lots from them. Very practical, sales advice that also translates into life. Bill's the guy who told me to always do what you say you're going to do. I mean, how do you thank somebody for that? It's, every time I see him, I tell him I used the Billism today. I did this, and Brian, I did that. So it's 2 brothers that have got a very successful business in the sporting goods world. So those 2 guys for sure. And then Jimmy Gallahue was the guy that I was in the food business with. And Jimmy's the guy that talked to me about humility. And if you were to meet Jimmy, You wouldn't think he's the guy that's going to tell you about humility, because he was kind of the wiseacre sales guy, always did very well, tops of the trees in terms of stack rankings and all that. But he's the one that told me, when all the stuff I learned from all the tactical products, knowledge, all that stuff, if you forget everything else I told you, remember this one thing. And that is, whenever anything goes wrong, take ownership. See how you could have done better. Now, that's sage advice for both business and business and personally. So it's something I try to practice. Like I said, I don't always bat 1,000, but we're shooting for it. So those
Absolutely.
are the main ones. I've had a lot of like people that I'm going to go listen to a guy tonight, Don Wynn. Don Wynn's a very good speaker. He gives sage advice. Tonight he is speaking on the negativity bias. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. Well, Kevin, you've got a really good podcast here. Sounds like you got a wonderful business. You got a nice little audience. Wow. I like how you have your books back there. Your setup is fantastic. What's up with the blue jacket today? Everybody wears blue jackets, Kevin. What are you going to remember? You're going to remember my comment about your jacket, aren't you? That's negative. You're not going to remember the hearts and flowers I gave you about. That's the negativity bias. So he's talking about, as a matter of fact, hang on. This is a book that he'll probably reference called Well Done.
Well done.
The power of positive relationships. So reinforcing the positive things that somebody has done, as opposed to harping on the negative ones. And you know who they did that with? Whales. That's what the book is about. Trained whales. And it's by Ken Blanchard, who also wrote about the Raving Fans and Gung Ho. I think he has the 7-Minute Manager too, I think. But yeah, so he'll talk about that tonight. So he and I are kind of kindred spirits in that. So we'll go have coffee and just oozing with positivity. And his dad, Don might be, he never tells me, he could be in his 80s. I'm not sure, because he's still vibrant and goes. And he said his father was his inspiration, and he never had a negative day in his life to the day he died. So something to be said for it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, so I have a question for you.
All right.
If you had a chance to go back historically or personally, to what time period would you like to go back, and why? And you'll also have the chance to pick your age too. Okay. In any age, you can go back history. All right, you pick the time.
I want to be 36 in 1968.
Okay.
And I want to have met a woman that is my music mentor. So she's my music mentor. I met her back then. That way I would be a way better musician and singer than I am today.
Wow.
There's so much, because I've learned you can never stop learning about music. Once you think you've got this figured out, oh no, you can do that and you can do this. You go, all right, what am I doing here? So that would be what I would do. That would be and now you'd be back. Maybe you get over to Laurel Canyon and sit in with Crosby, Stills, and Nash when they first found each other. Wow. Do you know they found each other like in the hallway of somebody's house? They all started singing, and it was just like, oh wow, that sounded pretty good. And then they had the life that they've had. So very, very interesting time to be in the music world. So
it is. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. Yes, absolutely. What will be your career advice for the next generation professionals coming into the job market nowadays?
Work in the hospitality business. I'm not saying as your career. I'm saying do something. as you know, if you're so my second book I'm writing is kind of it's going to be a partner to Bar Tips, and it will speak to that. It's going to be geared to 16 to 26, and that it's very, if you want to learn everything about people and what you might encounter out in business, wait tables, be the hostess, work in the kitchen. Even, you're not going to be facing the people, but you're going to know about teamwork and all that. And then also it kind of helps if you do that. If you go this route, where the cost of college is off the charts, crazy, right? If you had this thought process where you take the money that you make as making $20 an hour, 20 hours a week is $20,800. Do you know what the tax is on that? $540. So you have 20 grand to play with. Go to the community college, get your humanities taken care of, live at home, start saving money. Then go have your 2-year college experience, if that's the direction you're going to go. And then walk out, look for it. Maybe that's where you look for assistance from your parents. And maybe you're paying for it yourself with your hospitality money or some portion of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, like for me, if you're going to be in sales, your draw or your base probably doesn't pay your bills. Go work in a restaurant once a week on a Saturday and Sunday, or work functions. Go make yourself a few $100s. Bartenders right now make silly money on those nights. Now you're not always going to get those nights, but that would be my advice to now, if your parents are just silly wealthy and can do it, I'm not even so sure you still shouldn't work in the hospitality business, even though they can pay for it all. Because you want to go right into an internship and live that world right out of the gate, or do you want to learn more about people before you get in there? That's a toss-up. But I think it's it's going to be part of the book. It's going to be, have you thought of it this way? Because people don't. And I don't think they haven't done the math. So many people haven't done the math. You want to walk out with a couple of $100,000 in debt, and you're not a doctor with a humanities degree, you may want to rethink that. So that would be my advice. And I bet, if you're wondering, if I talk to 100 people on that, I get 4. Because everybody's if the ego takes over. The greatest thing I've heard, I met a young woman in a Pilates class. 2 young women, they were right next to me. And one of them, so I just joked around. I said, I'm just here to represent the seniors. And she looked at me and she goes, yeah? And you kicked my butt, because I can still move at 66. So I said, tell me about you. You're an athlete? You in college? She goes, I was in college. Yeah, I played soccer in college. Great. How about you? How about you, young woman? What about you? I just graduated from high school and I'm going to the community college. And I said to her, you don't know how happy you've made me. You said that without being apologetic. It was like, just came to her. Yeah, I'm owning it. This is what I'm doing. This is my path. I didn't ask her why. I just, but I was really impressed with her. Just, that's my decision. That's what I'm doing. Live at home, live with mom and dad, put money away. I got plenty of time to do college things. So yeah, that would be my, that would be my, again, it all depends on where you are in your life, but I think everybody should spend some time working with the public. I think it can't hurt. I don't think it can hurt. And even if you're going into the trades, you're going to have to deal with homeowners. Nothing's worse than dealing with homeowners.
Well, it's been a great conversation. For those who like to continue this conversation, learn more about your organization, as well as positive lifestyle, positive activity, what is the best way to be in touch with you? Any website or page that you'd like to share?
Yeah, the best place is to go to positiveactivity.net. It's all there. Most of it's there. Contact information and all that. So
I appreciate it. Well, Neil, it's been a great conversation. Thank you so much
Kevin, I
for being
enjoyed
with
it.
us.
A lot of
Yes,
fun.
yes. Pleasure is all mine. We should definitely do it again next year.
See you, everybody.
Yes. Happy holidays, by the way. It's coming up. And
You
thank
as
you so
well.
much for being with us.
Glad to be here.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You as well.
Well, to our audience and to our listeners, I hope you enjoyed the conversation today. We had another informative The American Business Podcast episode. As I always say, we always learn something new in each The American Business Podcast episode. And this one was one of them. And I hope you like it as well. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, you can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We also welcome companies, organizations, institutions who like to advertise in the American Business Podcast, who likes to sponsor in the American Business Podcast. You can send us an email as well, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We have new sponsors and advertisers coming in. I'm happy to announce in coming weeks, coming episodes. You'll see them. We'll start announcing, promoting, advertising. So these are really exciting times for the American Business Podcast, and we truly appreciate your support. I'm also inviting you to our website, americanpodcast.tv, to learn about our coming streaming schedule. And also you can learn more about the American Business Podcast, the team, and our other activities to support the American Business Podcast business community. And as you know, the American Business Podcast received YouTube Silver Award because we passed more than 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. If you haven't done so, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube page. You can subscribe, and also, if you feel more generous, you can put your comments in the chat box and interact with us and within our community and tell us what you think. In each The American Business Podcast, we have something new to share, something informative, and I'm sure you have your thoughts, your experiences that you like to share, and YouTube is a great venue, great channel to share these experiences and your feedback. So we are welcoming you to share your comments in the chat box in YouTube channel of the American Business Podcast. Connectional America online networking event is coming up. It is scheduled for November 21st, 2025 at 10 a.m. That is the American Business Podcast's online business networking event. What it means is on this event, you can connect remotely. It's an online business networking event. You'll be able to network with other business professionals, and at the same time, it'll be streamed live on the American Business Podcast, and you'll be in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast followers and subscribers. That is what is unique about this online business networking event. I have the QR code on the screen. We have limited seating. If you're interested, if you like to introduce your company, your products, your services, if you like to promote your company, that's a great opportunity. I have the QR code on the screen. Please scan the QR code and join us. The seating is limited, even though it's an online event. We can only accept limited attendees. Please register and join us. We are looking forward to having you. I hope you join us and you can make it. It's for November 21st. Let's talk about our sponsors. If you are in the market to learn about Excel and other Microsoft business software systems, consider Ms. Excel. Ms. Excel's courses are interactive and enjoyable. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, it'll take you to their website. You can review the course catalog. You can pick the ones that you're interested. And before you check out, make sure to use the discount code from the American Business Podcast. It is ABP 2025. If you are in the market for an ERP system, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. That includes accounting, purchasing, and other business operations. If you are looking for an ERP software system, consider iTech Consulting. They are specialized in SAP and Oracle software systems. And I have their QR code on the screen. You can learn about their services, software, ERP software, SAP and Oracle implementation, configuration, training, and support. and you can be in touch with them. When you are in touch with them, please make sure you heard about them. You tell them that you heard about them from the American Business Podcast. And I have the QR code on the screen. Great. That's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business, and I'm looking forward to having you in the coming The American Business Podcast episodes. Thank you very much, and have a great day.